Good evening. I know I'm a bit late. It's past 7 already, but I was quite tired today. But we'll get right into it with the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any financial product. All content is for informational purposes only based on personal opinions and experiences. Trading futures, options, and other financial instruments involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for every investor. You can lose more than your initial investment, so always do your own research and consult with a licensed professional. So here's the day. If I give us a quick summary, we had a pretty nice bell curve profile today. Like, nice balanced looking profile. You do have this double TPO high that we made early in the morning, so that's a weak high, but other than that, it's a pretty nice looking profile. You didn't close the gap. You didn't even close half gap. So gap is still open and you're right at the lows currently, but we won't go too much into that since this is just the trade review. Sorry. So here's the trades for the day. The scaling's I don't know, the software's a bit off for whatever reason, but I'll go through these quick. Let me bring out my pen actually. So this first trade here, this trade was actually an error. This trade. So basically the idea was you had come up, nice push higher off the open. You sort of balanced around, but you were staying above this yellow line, which was the open. So you were holding prices, very cleanly above the open. And then you had pushed finally back higher and you made the double TPO high. And so I was like, okay, weak high, you've been trading above the open. It looks pretty good for long. So I took a scalp long at VWAP here, expecting, VWAP to hold and continue higher. It was an error because it was a technical error, and it was an error because VWAP in this case was not a valid lean because you had traded through it. Like, if you trade through VWAP and it's not being respected like this, unless you have a range extension, it's not valid, at least to me, to lean on again until you get the range extension. So because you couldn't extend up here and you made the double TPO high, it technically was a technical error, right? So that's why, not a great start to the morning, but it ended up fine. I got too sucked into this double TPO high, and I was like, oh, weak high, let's go. This is looking good. You got a decent price action setup, but literally the next bar I had gotten stopped out. So it was a quick stop, and I realized it was an error quickly, like pretty much as soon as I got in. So, yeah. And then second trade. So second trade was a sell position. I don't know why it shows these as individual, but I sold 60.89 all three. And so this was the IB break trade. So, you held RTH VWAP here. You pushed lower. You broke IB. You extended the developing range. And then you pull back again to RTH VWAP, which continues to get respected. And you come lower. So by this point, once you had broken lower here, and you had made this double TPO high, I was leaning short, but I was still, maybe I guess, uncertain. I had a low confidence level on the short bias because of this double TPO high. I was like, double TPO high, we're probably going to come back and try and get that, especially because half gap was 62.16 right here in the double TPO high. So we needed to, if we even just had a one tick range extension up here, you clean up the high and you get half gap. And so this trade, I guess, was very uncomfortable for me to take, but the IB break is, I guess a common trade that I look for, just go with the direction of the IB break. So you got the IB break, it wasn't the greatest. You did kind of hold overnight low, but like I said, you respected RTH VWAP. And so the entry I was using was, I just saw this triple local bottom here, which was sort of a zipper. It's not super pretty, but once you broke that, I just got filled on the next blue bar up. And so that's really all I was using for my cue to get on this trade with the, context of, well, we just broke IB, we're making lower highs, we're respecting our TH VWAP, we got the range extension, and, we rejected higher prices. We did reject higher prices even though it was weak. So, yeah, and this trade was quick. I got risk off target. It was like I was only in for like 5 minutes, and obviously I had no idea that this was going to happen pretty much right after I got in. But because of this double TPO high again, I was a bit conservative with my target placement. So I went a bit closer than I normally. I was looking for less just because it was still a possibility to me, even if we do check lower, we could still come back up higher to break this high, which we never ended up doing. And we did end up actually continuing lower, but I think that was the right decision to make under this day's context. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And so I'll get the video out, and we can just go through both trades quickly. This one will take like 2 seconds, like I said, because I got filled 9:37:03 and got stopped out within a minute. So yeah, so let me just grab the video. I forgot to mention before I pull up the video, I've got it here though. This was a full stop, and it was, I believe, 9 ticks. Yeah, it was 9 ticks. So this trade was negative $27. And then this trade, I don't know exactly what it was, but I ended up on the day plus $41. So whatever the difference is, 41 plus 27. What's that? 68 on my trade, that would make sense. Because normally, like I said, because I shorten my targets, normally I get about 70 ticks on a full target with that exit strategy, so that makes sense. So yeah, so let me just pull up the video and we'll go through it quickly. Alright, well, here's the video. It's clearly, you can see I'm not able to move. Skip ahead. My PC restarted while it was recording, so I figure it's something to do with that. But yeah, see, it doesn't work. So that's fine. I mean, I showed the trades anyway, so those were the trades. They basically played out exactly as I described. Both were quick. I got in and out on both of them pretty quick, and I ended the day, with a small profit, pretty much. It was 41 ticks, and in crude on the micros, a tick is $1. So if I mention, they're interchangeable for the micros in crude with ticks and dollars. So just keep that in mind if I sort of switch back and forth. But yeah, so I'll upload this, and I'll make sure the video is working properly tomorrow. So I will be back in the morning.